and welcome back to the channel. It's here, finally, the full release of Automobilista 2 version 1.0 came out on the 1st of July, and I say finally, it feels like it's only actually been in early access for a really short amount of time. And what a journey that early access has been. Reza have been working really hard to bring us updates constantly throughout that early access, and when you consider everything that's been going on in the world, it's amazing that they have managed to achieve as much as they have in that shorter space of time. Now, as always, Reza have been very forthcoming with the information they like to give you with the updates that they release, and obviously with this version 1.0 release, they have given us a load more information. Now, they haven't achieved absolutely everything that they set out to do by this point. However, they have cleared a lot of the issues that a lot of the community have had. Plus, they've been starting to drip feed us new content as well, which has been really nice to see. Before I go any further with this video, I do just want to make it very clear that this is definitely not a review of the full game. There is loads of reviews available on YouTube if you do want to go and check those out. In fact, people were uploading them sort of half an hour to an hour after the game actually got its version 1.0 release. I'm not here to review it. I definitely don't feel like I could review it fairly. This is definitely an ongoing project and something that Reza have said is going to be carrying on for a long time, so it doesn't seem particularly fair to review it as it is. However, what are you actually getting at this point? If you haven't picked up the game yet, is it in a good enough state to go and pick up now? And that's kind of what I'm going to be doing today, and I'm going to be doing it over some gameplay as well, so inevitably I'll probably miss a load of points like I always do that I do want to talk to you guys about, and there'll be a load of waffle that wasn't really intended to be in there. But either way, I'm hoping to give you guys a decent idea at least of how it is playing now. For today's gameplay, I will be racing at the historic 1976 version of the Kyalami circuit in South Africa, and the car I decided to go for is the recently added Ginetta G55, the GT4 Super Cup. And I'm sure most of you have come across Ginettas before in lots of other racing games that you've probably played, but just in case you haven't, it's a V6 rear-wheel drive putting out around about 355 horsepower. Weighs 1,195 kilograms and has 332 newton meters of torque. Now, it does normally run a 6-speed sequential gearbox. I'm actually going to be using 6-speed H pattern for this particular video. And if you think this combination sounds interesting, trust me, it works really well together. The Ginetta has plenty of space to stretch its legs around this track, but at the same time, you do need to be careful of the braking. No ABS here. This car is a bit of a handful unless you're gentle on those brakes. But trust me, you'll have a load of fun if you go and give this one a go. Okay, so here we are again, and I've opted for another rolling start. It's definitely my preference in this game. We've had the green light there, and away we go. Now, in practice, I've been having issues with this first right-hand corner at the end of this straight here. I don't know why, I seem to be going in late to it every single time, running wide. Still staying on this track, but losing loads and loads of time. So I'm going to try and avoid doing that. However, I doubt I'm gonna, there we go, I've actually slowed down too much that time, which means this guy's coming around the outside of me, and I'm not giving him enough space there, never mind. Yeah, I don't know why I'm struggling with that corner so much. It's just me and my poor driving ability. But where do we start with this? Now, version 1.0 has landed, as I just said there on the intro. I'm just gonna sneak past this guy now as well, and then get heavy on the brakes before turning so I can get straight back on the power and try and carry as much speed through this corner as I can, and tuck in nicely behind this yellow car here. Oh, straight up the inside as well. What, oh, 2 cars. That I'll definitely take. But yeah, anyway, has the game really moved forward enough from its early access to its version 1.0 release to make it now a viable option if it's not something that you've picked up? And the answer to that, simply from my point of view, is 100% yes. It feels like Reza has achieved so much in the short amount of time that this thing has been in early access. And it really is like night and day when you look at the difference in the gameplay. Go back 3 months and the issues we were having with the AI, with loads of features within the game that weren't actually available, not working properly. Certainly there was issues with the online racing side of things, few lobby problems. All of this has now been ironed out. I mean, the AI still has a little way to go, in my opinion, certainly when you compare it to things like ACC. But as it stands now, it is very, very playable. In fact, I spend most of my time in the single player, single event kind of thing, just picking cars and seeing what tracks they work with particularly well. And I have so much fun doing that. I don't really venture out and do anything else within the game. And that's not to say that there is nothing else to do. It's just, for me, AMS2 just feels so pure. Like, it's all about the driving. And it's down to the physics, it's down to that AI now, it's just down to the way that the cars make you feel. And an element of it for me as well, as I've said in previous videos, if you sent any of them, I never played the original Automobilista. A lot of the vehicles that are actually in this game are new to me, and it's like a discovery, and finding which cars work best for me, it's just something that I'm enjoying far more than I ever expected to. Now, it's not perfect, granted, but give it time. These guys have done a lot, like I say, in the 3 months or so that they've had with this out in the public eye. And it just keeps getting better and better and better. And like I say, Reza are really good at giving you a really good description of what their updates carry and also what they're planning to do in the future. And they've openly said that they haven't achieved absolutely everything they set out to do by this point. However, they have done a lot. And I think they've actually gone above and beyond in a lot of cases. And let's put it this way, after this short amount of time, and they've achieved this much, imagine what it's going to be like after a year's worth of development and being out on the market with people's feedback. I really do believe this game is going to go a long, long way. And whether you want to be part of that right at the beginning, as I feel I have been, or whether you just want to wait until that final beautiful polished product is around, is completely up to you. But so far, and the fun I've been having with this, I really, really do feel like it's been money well spent. Take a look at this AI. Go back a couple of months ago on level 100 difficulty, which is what this is currently at. There is no way I would have even been remotely keeping up with them. They would have been bashing into the back of the car. I've had a pretty easy race in terms of people smashing into me. It's only been me that's run one of them off the track. And here I am in a very competitive race, stuck in 7th position. They're pulling away from me. As I take a good corner, I'm pulling back up against them. This is great racing, and it is so much fun. Genuinely, I remember watching a load of content about this game when it first came into early access, and I just picked up just to see what other people were thinking about it. And there was so much negativity around it, saying that it obviously felt horrible. And to be fair, at that moment in time, it wasn't perfect. I still had a load of fun with it personally, but then maybe I'm not quite as picky as a lot of you guys are when it comes to sim races. If I think it feels good and I'm having a good time with it, then generally I'm pretty happy. But honestly, if you were one of those people that originally picked it up, weren't impressed with it at the time, go back to it now, give it a go. It is like a completely different game, and hopefully most of you out there will really enjoy what you come back to. Well, I'm chatting away here, and it definitely looks like it's going to be a 7th place finish here. I haven't really moved since our first lap. I really can't catch this guy in front of me. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the rest of the package that you're getting, they've added championship mode in. Now, that's going to be your single player sort of campaign as such. Looking at what you're actually getting there, there's not much to it. And like I said before, I really just enjoy the whole sort of single race aspect and putting together what I want to be playing. But at the same time, they have put that in there. They've said that it is a work in progress and that we may see sort of other things added to that in future. I'm actually getting really close to getting past this car now. This could be right at the last second there. If I could take him on this right-hander, just wheel him in there. And if I can get up the inside, yeah, squeeze him a little bit. But yeah, I'm through. So at least it's going to be a 6th place finish here as I come up to the finish line, which I'll definitely take. Again, I absolutely love this combination of car and track. I really do want you guys to go and give this one a go. I just think it works really, really well. But anyway, getting back to what I was actually talking about, yeah, so they've added that single player championship mode, if you like. Also, they've added Bathurst right at the last second, so we've got an additional track there. And also the Stock Car 2020 series. Now, they've said that all of these are firmly a work in progress. They're not completely polished yet, but they will be working on those over the next few days to wrap up any loose ends on this particular update release. On top of that, they have laid down a little bit of a sweetener if you were thinking of picking this game up anytime soon. They're going to continue to run the 20% off to the early access discount, if you like, that they've been running for a little while. And they're going to run that to coincide with the Steam Summer Sale. So that is going to be running for a few more weeks yet. And on top of that, they've announced that the Hockenheim Ring DLC, which was always planned to be the first DLC, will be releasing soon, but for anybody that buys the game before the end of the Steam Summer Sale, so that includes anyone that got it in early access, you will be getting that first DLC for absolutely nothing. It's just included in the base price of the game. So all in all, for me at least, Automobilista 2 is a really nice little package. Certainly considering I got it right at the beginning when early access first came out, and I picked it up nice and cheap. But if you are thinking of picking it up, I don't think you will be disappointed. The only thing that may disappoint you is the lack of sort of content, I suppose, in terms of cars. Certainly if you've been playing things like Project Cars 2, you get a whole world of stuff in that game. We're nowhere near that level with Automobilista 2. But for me, again, at least, the stuff that's in there, as I mentioned earlier, is interesting. It's not the same stuff you find in every single game. So there is enough here to keep me at least interested, and hopefully it will be the same for you guys too. Personally, I think the more support we can give Reza, the better. Look what they've achieved so far with a small team, and probably not the biggest sales records in the world, but I don't actually know that for a fact. But assuming it hasn't sold that well and they've given us all of this content so far, I think moving forward it is going to be something that we can all look forward to. We know from what we've been told so far that there is going to be a very healthy amount of DLC also added to this game, but it is going to come at quite the hefty price if you want the season pass, which is a little bit frightening, to be honest. Now, they have stated that there is going to be like a monthly update effectively, and there's going to be purchasable content along with free stuff as well. So I don't know exactly how we're going to be able to get all of this stuff, but fingers crossed they don't price it too high to put people off buying the game, and it starts to come thick and fast over the next few months so that we've got stuff to talk about, and hopefully more and more people get interested. But like I say, I have waffled on quite a lot here. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of exactly how I feel about this in its current state, and whether the version 1.0 full release is worth picking up. I feel like I've given you my ideas. I know not everybody is going to agree with it necessarily, but everyone's welcome to their own opinions, and that's mine. As always, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. There will be more AMS2 content coming out as and when I get around to it, and it's always nice to see some new faces here on the channel. Don't forget to give the video a like if you've enjoyed what you've seen today, and use that comment section down below if you want to voice your opinions on this game and whether you're enjoying it so far. Thanks for watching today, happy gaming, and I'll see you all on the next one.